What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute. DJ Kryptonite here, talking combat sports, boxing, and other sports. Today, I'm just going to do something a little different because I'm kind of sick of the whole narrative with Russell Westbrook and the NBA and LeBron and the Lakers folding and having a bad season. Um, Ultimately, this is where I want to go with this. Um, uh, the league has become, well, I don't know if and I'm sometimes I'm a conspiracy guy, and it's really not a conspiracy. It's pretty clear where most sports are going. They're going more offensive, and they're handicapping the defenses across the board: NHL, NBA, NFL, that sort of thing. So they're just creating a more pleasingly to the eye sport, meaning the more offense, the more sales, the more viewership. So I think that's where they're going with it. But what it does is it homogenizes the league, so it makes the league pretty much a cookie cutter league. There is no there are no teams that are defensive minded. There are no teams that are known for low scoring, meaning they're scoring 85 points and winning with great defense. It just doesn't happen. You really have to score 115, 120 points to be successful in the league. We're talking specifically the NBA. And right now, the Lakers, for whatever reason, um, aren't 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 productive in that way. And the problem that I have with it is if you look at any NBA game, even if a team is up 20 points, 25 points, there has to be something written where that team has to continue to jack threes and play at a fast pace. And that wasn't the case when the league was about winning and it wasn't homogenous and it was a lot of different teams winning different ways. Right now, it's just try to outscore the opponent as quickly with the 3 point shot as possible. So if you look at any of these games, you'll see Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors. They're up 20 points. Then all of a sudden, up 20 points, 25 points in the first half, and then the next thing you know, the third or fourth quarter, they're still playing at a fast pace. They're not slowing up, just to run the clock down a little bit, just to waste some time to stall. They're not doing that. They're still jacking threes. They're still playing at a fast pace. And next thing you know, the team that was down by 25 has now cut the lead to 5 points. And I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying it as a conspiracy, meaning that the players are trying to lose the game. I'm saying the league rules or how the game is being played, it takes the strategy out of out of coaching, out of playing, all of that sort of thing. Because it, back in the day, it was more of a boring game. But if you're up by 20 points, you're gonna walk the ball up the floor. You're gonna wait for the clock to get down to 10 seconds before you go to 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 try to get a point or get a basket or that sort of thing. Before you start seeking a basket, you're gonna look up at the 24-second clock and you're gonna wait for that clock to get down to 10 seconds, and then you're gonna make a move. And at that point, I don't think you're gonna jack threes. What it is, you're going to the basket because you're gonna demand that these people foul, and they're not doing that anymore. And I think that's handicapping some teams that this style of play is in place. And again, it makes the game boring to me. Yeah, it's great to see Steph Curry and other players shoot from almost a half court line, shooting threes, but essentially there's no defense being played on these players because they can just come up and just jack threes. And it's funny how Steph Curry can get off these shots on 6'9", 6'11", 6'10", folks, and he's shooting essentially from his shoulder. And you got people that can actually jump and touch the top of the backboard, and they can never block his shot, which is amazing to me. Because there is no defense being played, and it's kind of hard to watch sometimes when you see the Lakers are down um, uh, 20 points. They make a run and come back, and they still end up losing. But the reason why they made a run and they came back to make it kind of respectable is because a team that was winning never slowed the ball down, never strategized to slow the ball, slow the game, to ride that lead for a little while because there's no reason to hurry at that point. But yeah, I just did think the ways of playing basketball in these league in the NBA has taken the coaching out. Essentially, all it is how quickly can you jack up a 3 pointer? How quickly can you drive to the basket, essentially a foot away from the rim, and then kick it out to a 3 point shooter? That was, you take the easier shot, and I know people are shooting 40% from the field and 30% from 40% from 3 point land and that sort of thing. But to give up a 2 point basket where it's probably 85 to 90% likely that you're going to make that layup, I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just an old fogey, or I just enjoy years past of the NBA and where coaches coached and players played, as opposed to players jacking up threes or jacking up shots just to see if we can score 120 points tonight. And even when you're up by 20, you're still jacking threes up. It makes no sense to me. And you're not even running the clock down. You're coming up and shooting within 5 or 6 seconds within the shot clock. It makes no sense. But anyway, I just had to express that. But again, this isn't anything new with the Lakers. I think the Lakers built a team back in, was it the early 2000s, I think, with Karl Malone. It may have been Gary Payton or another aging point guard that went to the Lakers, and it was a shit show. Um, it wasn't very successful, but it was a lot of aging stars that kind of went to the Lakers. And it just wasn't a successful endeavor. Um, it may have lasted 1 year, I think, maybe, I think. But this isn't anything new. That's what happens, and of all places, these agent stars go to L.A. because L.A. is a big market. So look for a scapegoat. Right now, it's Russell Westbrook who's taking all the heat, and a lot of times he's get. The funny thing is these shots that he's missing, some of these layups that he's taking, crazy layups. I mean, he's just throwing them up against the glass. That wasn't ever his style of play. A lot of times he was going directly to the rack. He was going to the rack and he was trying to dunk on you or get the foul or what have you. Very aggressive, very explosive player. But now he's taking these crazy layup shots off the glass, and he's never been a jump shooter, but now he seems to think he can take jump shots from any and everywhere. He's never been that player, but all of a sudden he's decided he's going to do that, and the coach is allowing him to do that as opposed to telling him to go to the basket or don't shoot. Shoot when you're open. Don't force things. You have a lot of shooters on. You got Carmelo, you got LeBron, you got Isaiah Thomas that you just picked up. But all of a sudden you still think you're a 3 point threat out there, and you're not. You've been terrible this year. But for the coaches don't coach. Because if you coach, you would actually pull them to the side and tell them that. And they're not coaching these players. It's crazy. This is the most ridiculous thing. So anyway, your thoughts on this? Again, I really don't talk basketball too tough, but it's just hard to watch and hard not to see, the what's really going on in the game, and it's not the same game. And yeah, I guess for some people it is a better game and more exciting to watch with the threes if you just keep jacking them throughout the whole game. I guess it's exciting, but for purists in sports, I'm looking for competition. I'm looking to be competitive, and defense is lacking in the NBA, and it's never coming back because you're getting more viewership with these crazy shots that people are taking, and no defense whatsoever to prevent them. So anyway, my thoughts. Sorry I was away so long. Appreciate everybody for subscribing to the channel, comment, all of those things. And for everybody, Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday. And again, Happy New Year to you. And let's make this year a great one. Deuces.